Alright, now if you are using Kali Linux like me, you will notice that Python is installed by default. So if I type Python like this, you can see that, yeah, it is Python 2.7. Now, why it is Python 2.7 by default? Well, actually, because it is more compatible with some tools. So actually, they are still using Python 2, but this doesn't mean that it is Python 2, actually. So if I type Python 3 like this, you can see that it is Python 3.8, which is the latest version for Python 3. So everything is working correctly. So here we opened the interpreter. So if I type quit like this, we exited from that. So this is Python. Now you may ask me how to install Python if you are using Linux, another Linux not installed by default, for example, or Windows or Mac. Well, actually just go to your browser. So from here I want to Firefox, and from here just type Python, download or download Python, doesn't matter. And as simple as that, go to their official documentation page or to their official page, and here you can just download it as is. Okay, so you are currently downloading the interpreter. Now, what is the interpreter and what is the compiler and so on? Well, I will not go into low level details about the interpreter, the difference between them and the compiler and so on. No, actually you can read about it, but I recommend you to read about it actually. But the interpreter, simply and briefly, it is just the program or utility that is responsible to translate your code, the things that you write on the editor, to translate it so the machine can understand it. Okay, now this is just a simple explanation. You can read more and I recommend you to do that. Now here, if you are using Windows, Linux, Mac OS, just download it. Okay, download the interpreter. Next step, nothing important. Okay, nothing big deal. All right, okay. Now this is the first thing, which is the interpreter. Okay, now if you want to write your code, well, actually there are a lot of text editors, including the Vim actually, and to be honest, Vim is for the genius people. Anyway, now actually it's good and it's better to use either Sublime or Visual Code Studio. Well, if you have a specific or a preferred text editor, it's okay, you can use it, no big deal. Okay, so here actually I want to install Visual Studio Code. So go to Google Visual Studio Code and download from here. And yeah, you can see it is Linux, and yeah, it is Debian, which means Debian, because Kali Linux actually is the upstream for it is Debian, so it is Debian based. So yeah, let's download it and let's save it. Now let's wait until it is saved. When it is complete, just go to where it is. Actually, I have it on download, and use this command sudo. For that, let's clear the screen. Yeah, so like this, sudo d package, which is the Debian package. Okay, -i, which means install, or -i, which means install this package, and I will name it, which is the thing I downloaded, which is code and blah blah blah. And by the way, I'm using 64 architecture. Now depends on the architecture you have. Okay, now let's wait a little bit until it is installed. Yeah, everything is working correctly. Now from here, type Visual Studio Code, and you can see now we have it here. All right, so where it goes, yeah, here it is. Okay, so simple. All right, now actually in this course we will use Kali Linux, and we will use Python 3, and we will use Visual Studio Code. Now what you prefer, it's up to you actually, and everything will work. Okay, so you prefer Sublime, you prefer some IDEs. Okay, so yeah, it will work, no problem. Okay, but in this course we are using these. All right, now there are one last thing actually I want to mention, which is IDEs. Well, actually, my personal opinion, I don't prefer IDEs at all. Okay, so we have this by Charm, and actually it's very popular IDE for Python. So you can see here you can just download it from the jetbrains.com, the official website for them. Well, actually, the thing is why I don't prefer IDEs. Well, after all, you are hackers, right? You are a hacker. You need to know how the things work in a low level details, all right? So by using the interpreter, GCC, using the compiler, using the Vim editor. Actually, by the way, Vim editor is better in our case because after all, we are breaching into the systems. We are using terminals. So you will not find Sublime there, right? You are using, you must learn how to use Vim actually. But because we are just learning the Python here, okay, so it doesn't matter. So we will go with Visual Code Studio because it is highlighted with syntax, better formation, you know, it is friendly actually, you can see. Now here actually you can just download the PyCharm, okay, and we have the full-fledged professional or the free community, and either way they are good, okay. Of course, the professional version is does have more features, blah blah blah, and so on, okay. All right, but in my case here, I will not use it. I will use Visual Code Studio. All right. Now I will see you in the next lecture where we will start learning the first Hello World program in Python. Now don't worry, we will learn everything in details. Okay, so we will start from the Hello World simple program until we reach to the level so we can be able to write our own ethical hacking tools, port scanner, backdoor, login, directory brute forcing, and actually a lot of things. So yeah, just keep with me. Let's start step by step. And if you feel you are good in Python, you can skip some of the lectures. It's okay, no problem, no big deal. But it's better to keep with me. Okay, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next lecture. Okay, now it's time to write our first Hello World program. So actually from here, new file. Now let's quit from the welcome page. And here, as simple as that, just type print, and inside it here, just double quotation and hello world. All right. So you can see that the brackets here is mandatory. So you need to put them. Now let's save this. I will put it on the desktop. All right. I will name it first.py. Okay. So let's save that. All right. Now you can see that now it is highlighted, which is something very good. Well, actually, let's increase the font size. Now you can see that here we have Python extensions and so on. Okay. So you can install it, which it's okay. No big deal. All right. Now let's open our terminal from here. Now let's go to the place where we put our program. Now let's clear the screen first. Yeah, ls, which is first.python. So as simple as that, you will use the interpreter to interpret the Python you wrote. So Python 3, because we are using Python 3, first. As simple as that. Yeah, hello world. Now you can see that it is very simple. No big deal and no complexity at all. Just write your program here using the editor, your preferred editor. In my case, Visual Studio Code. And then from the terminal, just use the interpreter Python 3 first.py. Now the IDE concludes everything in one program or one step. Just you write your code here and you can build it from here or run it from here, and it will show you as a console here or as something like that. Okay, that the output of your statement. Okay. And again, I don't prefer actually IDEs again because you are a hackers after all. You need to go into systems. You need to know how to write codes in a very low level details using the Vim, using the interpreter, the GCC, and so on. Okay. So for now, just keep with me and you will learn a lot. All right. I will see you in the next lecture. Okay. Now it's time for the data types. Now, actually, what is it? What is data types? Now, data types, as simple as that, it is the way how to store your values. So you want to store numbers, to store characters, floats, or specific things. Now, actually, this is what data types. Okay. Now, in Python, we have some data types like the fundamental data types or essential data types like int, float, pool, string, list, tuple, set, dict, or dictionary. Now int for the integers, float for floating point, bool for the boolean, true or false, string for characters, set of characters, which means strings, I mean words and so on. List for if you want to put a list or a set of list. Now tuple is the same as list, but with some differences. We will talk about that, don't worry. We have set and we have the dict or dictionary as well. Okay, now these are for the fundamentals. Yeah, by the way, we will learn all of that in details step by step, so don't worry. For now, just keep with me. Now we have another things which is called classes. Now actually the classes or the class, here you write or you put your own data type. So you modify you customize your own data type. And don't worry, we will have that in details. Now we have other thing which is the specialized, as you can see, or the specials like the modules and so on. And finally we have the non-data type. Now actually non-data type is very simple, or it indicates that the value is none, which means that it is not just empty, it is none, which is null. I mean nothing here. Okay, not set yet, so you didn't set it yet, so which means that it is none. Okay, and we will have a lot of use cases and a lot of examples how to use that. Okay, so for now just keep with me. Now in the next lecture we will start the hands-on, and we will start, as you can see, all of these one by one. All right, thanks for watching. All right, now it is time to start with the numbers. Okay, so again, this is the first.py program. So inside it, let's print 1. Okay, like this, as simple as that. Now let's open the terminal here, and let's just up the up arrow and press enter. Okay, the up arrow, so which is the last command, as you can see. By the way, I'm pretty sure you are familiar with that, but I'm just giving you some hints in case you don't know. Okay, so up arrow, press enter, which is the last command, which is the Python 3 first.py. And you can see that it is 1 because we print the one number. Okay, now what if I typed the operation plus or the addition operation like this? Now, and if I typed, for example, and if I copy and paste that, the same thing for multiplication, for addition, sorry about that, subtraction, multiplication, and division, by the way. So, but let's change the values. So here let's put 10 minus 1, and here let's put 2 multiplied by 4 or by 3 anyway. Here let's put 10 multiplied by 5 and so on, just arbitrary values. Okay, now here if I return to the terminal and let's put that, you can see that it is 2, 9, 6, 2.5 and so on. Okay, which is 2. By the way, this is integer multiplied by integer, but it will give you the as a float value. Okay, which is 2.0. Okay, because this is the division. Now we have this function or method called the type, and inside it let's put the value. This will return you the value what will that returned. Okay, so if I type here type 10 multiplied by 5, now this should return float, and the same thing for the 1 plus 1. I don't need to put them for everything, just let's do that and test it out. Okay, so yeah, if I type here, you can see that the class is int for the first one, which is the 1 plus 1. Okay, now for 10 divided by 5, you can see that it is a float, which is the 2.0. So as you can see, by using this function, we learned how to know what is the data type for this specific number. Okay, now actually there are other things, which is the exponential. So if I type print like this and 2, the exponential is double star. Okay, or the arithmetics. Okay, power to 3. So this will give us 8. So if I return here to the terminal and put here, yeah, it is 8, but let's clear the screen. Actually, yeah, it is 8, as you can see now. And we have the module, which is the, if you can see, it is the 2 in forward slash. So if I type here 2 and here is 4, okay, so this should return 0. So yeah, as you can see, it is 0. Now don't worry about the math. Actually, this course is not about math, but I'm just giving you a brief overview how to use Python in that. Okay, now in the next lecture we will start learning some of the math functions actually that can be used, like the absolute, like the cosine, sine, whatever. Okay, but again, this course is not about math or something like this. This is about ethical hackings, about creating your own ethical hacks using Python. But to do that, you need to understand the Python first. Okay, all right, I will see you there. All right, now let's start with the math functions. Now actually, the math functions is imported by default. So if I type this function, for example, the print, then inside it I put the round function. Okay, now the round function, it will return the value rounded. So 1.1 should be 1. Okay, so yeah, my keyboard still okay. So here it should return 1. So let's clear the screen first, and yeah, you can see it is 1. All right, now it is 1. If it is 1.5, it will be 2, and so on. Yeah, actually this is the round function. Yeah, this should be 2 as well. Okay, so actually these functions or methods, which is the round, the absolute, cosine, sine, these are imported from the standard library, which is the math. Okay, so before I show you, let's print another math function, which is the abs, which is the absolute, I mean. So here put -4, for example. Okay, so if I go there, it should be 4, not -4, which is the absolute function. It's okay. Now, actually, just go to your browser and type the Python mathematical functions. And then from there, go to any website. Yeah, it's okay, but it is better to go to the official documentation. Well, actually, this is the best practice, by the way. So yeah, this is docs.python.org. The math functions, everything is there. So you can see that we have the ceil, the combine, the comp, the copysign, absolute, factorial, floor. Actually, everything will be fine there. So if you are interested in such things, okay? But don't worry. Again, this course, we will not handle math at all. All right? So this is how far we are gonna go. Just that's it. Nothing important. All right? Because this is for ethical hacking, security, cybersecurity, and writing your own tools, not for data science, deep learning AI, or algorithm, or whatever. Okay, it's not about that. All right. Okay, thanks for watching. Okay, now it is time for the operators precedence. Okay, so well, actually in Python the precedence is the same as the math. So multiplication, so addition, subtraction, this is the least precedence. Then multiplication and division, this is the second. Then we have the brackets, or before the brackets we have the exponential, then we have the brackets. Okay, so let's have a real quick example. So print, so let's say 3 plus 4. Okay, now let's put spaces here so it will be more comprehensive. Multiplied by 2. Now this will give us 4 multiplied by 2, then 8 plus 3, which is 11. So let's see. Let's clear the screen first. So yeah, it is 11. Okay, now if I typed brackets here, as you can see, like this, so here you can see that it is 3 plus 4, which means 7. 7 multiplied by 2, which is 14. So if I type here, yeah, it is 14. Okay, so real quick, the brackets is the highest priority or precedence. Then we have the exponential, then we have the multiplication and division, then finally we have the addition and subtraction. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for watching. All right, now it is time for the variables. Now the variables is very simple, no big deal in Python, because so for example I want to put here, which is var1. Okay, this is the name of the variable. Now we have equal, and let's put 10. Now this variable is integer variable. As you can see, if you hover here, you can see that it is integer. Now print var1. like this. So let's go to the terminal, and yeah, it is 10. As you can see, var1 is 10. So here, another thing, we can use variables with each other. So if I type sum equal var1 plus var2. Okay, now let's put another variable called var2, and inside it, let's put 20 like this. So yeah, let's print the sum here, and let's see what will happen. Okay, so go here, clear the screen, let's go here. Yeah, it is 30 as expected. Now what if we type var1, okay, plus var2 here inside the print function immediately, and by the way, it will give you the same thing. Okay, so either with space or without space, it is the same actually. So yeah, like this. So you can see that it is 30 as well. All right, now this is the same thing for 0.5. So if it is float, integer, it will print and will do everything as expected. All right, now actually one thing I want to mention, which is we can put all the variables inside each other like this. So if I type var2 and put var3, and then I put respectively 20, 30. So actually, let's remove that. And if I typed var1, var2, var3 as well, and I save it. So let's go here and check. Clear the screen first, and yeah, you can see it is 10, 20, 30. Okay, so you can see that we put all the variables on one single line. So Python accepts that. All right, now it is time for the strings. Now actually, in Python, you see that it is not like the C or the C++ or whatever, C# or Java, that you use or you define your variable depends on what your data type, like int, float. So you don't type int var1 dot something equal something. No, you just type the variable and it is automatically defined. Okay, now the same thing for the string. So if I type var underscore s, which means var string, anything, you name it, anything, it's okay. So here inside it put double quotation like this, and inside it put hello world or anything you want. So, and let's print it out. Now let's go to the terminal. Let's run this. Yeah, it is hello world. Okay, now actually this is the same thing for doing another thing. So if I type user and the user equal user1, okay, for example, and we have password or password, and the password equal pass1. Okay, yeah, by the way, it's actually it's bad practice to put a password inside the code. Yeah, you know that. I'm pretty sure you are familiar with that, because, well, putting the password inside the code. Now what if this code shared with others? Well, this is stupid, to be honest, but anyway, this is just for example. Now also we have this thing in Python, which is the long string. So I want to put, for example, article, or let's say not article, let's say long underscore description. Okay, so this is the name of the variable, anything, but put 3 single quotation, and in multi-line put line 1, line 2, blah blah blah, anything you want, then close it with 3 single quotations. Okay, you can see that like this. Okay, now save that, and you can print anything you want. So for example, let's print the long description here. Okay, yeah, like this. Anyway, let's write it manually. Okay, so long description here, and now let's run that. Let's clear the screen first. Yeah, you can see line 1, line 2, blah blah blah, something like this. Okay, it worked 100%. Now there is another thing, which is the concatenation. So if I want to add the user, so let's delete that, the first thing. So user plus or addition with the password. Okay, so this will concatenate the user with the password as well. Okay, so if I saved that and if I put or open the Kali Linux, the terminal, I mean user1 pass1, okay, which is the user, which is this value and this value. And yeah, by the way, if you hover here, you can see that it is str. By the way, if you type the type function, okay, so type function like this, and let's close it. So the value should be str from class str, which is string. Okay, you can see that the class is str, which is string, and this is very good actually. We can put string, multi-line string, username, password if you want it to inside, but we mentioned that this is bad practice to put a password. Actually, it is better to use environment variable. And if you are using cloud, by the way, for example, AWS, you can use parameter store or secret manager. This is something from the AWS SSM system manager feature, and they are enhancing that. And actually, it is very used in the production. Anyway, that's it for this lecture. All right. One last thing I want to mention about string, which is the string concatenation. Yeah, you can see that when we typed the type or user plus with password actually, but if I type user, for example, with 99, for example, okay. Sorry about this. Let's remove it like this. 99, for example. Now this is integer value, as you can see, with a string value. Now this should give us an error. So let's return here, clear the screen, and let's run it again. You can see that we can only concatenate string with a string, not an integer. Okay. So for that, you need to convert the 99 into something else, which is into string. And we will, in the next lecture, we will learn how to do that. Okay. I will see you there. All right. Now it is time for the type conversion. Okay, so let's put this var1 equal and put hi, or let's name it string. Okay, and we have var2 and its type is the number, which is 100. Okay, now if I want to print one of these, it will work fine. We already saw that 100 as integer and string as a string, which is var1. Okay, and if I put the type function, you can see that it is the same. Now what if I want to concatenate var1 with var2? But we already saw in the previous lecture, we cannot concatenate string with other values, string only with the string. So how to do that? Well, actually we will use a specific functions for that. So str and int function. So str, this is to convert to a string value. So if I type var2, so this will convert var2 to str. And for int, it will convert the value inside it to integer. So if I type var1, it will convert it to an integer. But by the way, you cannot convert something like this, which is a sequence of characters, to integer. But it may work for a specific character. So C, A, B, C, D, one of these, okay? Because each character has its own ASCII code. All right. For now, we want to check this out. Okay. So when we the first thing, I don't need the integer. I will test on the string function. So here it will convert the var2, but actually it will not convert it inside the var2 and update the value inside of the var2, because we didn't put the assignment here, which is the equal. So this value, I want to print it out. Okay, so let's do that. Actually, it's pretty simple. So here str 100. Okay, so if I type this, if I saved, okay, and print it, it will print 100. But how to distinguish between if it is integer or not? You will use the type function, as we learned. So yeah, like this. And if I save, and let's check what will happen this time. Let's clear the screen and let's check this. You can see that the class this time it is string, which means that the value has been converted to a string value. So this is not integer anymore. This is a string. Okay. Now how to check or how to convert it? You can just use var2 equal str for var2, as simple as that. Okay, and then you can just print the var2 and let's print it inside the type to check if it is working or not. So like this. Let's save that. Let's check if it is working or not. So yes, yeah, you can see that we have end of file parsing error. Let's check what is the wrong. Yeah, actually I forget to put a brackets here. Actually I forget to put a brackets here. So let's save now and check again. You can see that the value is str, which is what is expected because var2 is now string. The 100 is now string. As you can see here, the var2 is string, not integer anymore. All right. Okay. So far so good. Now it is time for the escape sequences. Okay. Now let's imagine we have this value, okay, which is var, for example, and we have I or am a hacker. Okay. Now you can see that we have a single quotation here. Now actually this will ruin everything for us. If we imagine if we are using a single quotation here, not as a double quotation, so like this. So actually this will ruin everything for us because you can see the open quotation, the single quotation here opened, and now we closed it here. So this will give us an error. So it's if we print the var and let's check how it is. Yeah. So if I go here, if I clear the screen, if you can see that here syntax error, invalid syntax on side the I am, because the am is outside of any quotation. As you can see, it is outside of any quotation. Now, how to do that actually? Well, the best thing is using the sequences, the escape, and this is the best practice, by the way, by putting backslash here. So which means that backslash escape this character, which is the single quotation, and I am a hacker. So if I save now, and by the way, you can see that it is now highlighted using the Visual Code Studio. So if I go there, if I type by here, you can see now I am a hacker. Now, which is something very good. Now, what if I want to put something else? Now, if I want to put I am a hacker slash or backslash anyway, engineer. Okay, like this. Now this will give us error. Now actually, if I type this backslash, because backslash is used to escape or to do things. So if I put backslash with n, this will give us a new line. So if I type here backslash n engineer, forget about the e, so backslash n, so this will not do this as a backslash. This actually will assume that this is a new line. So if I saved now and I print, you can see that now I am a hacker engineer. So without the n here. Okay, now just assume the word is engineer without e. Okay, just follow me. Okay, in here. So how to do that actually? I think you guessed it right. Yeah, just put 2 backslashes. Okay, so the first backslash is the one that we want, but we need to escape it. How to do that? By using the backslash slash. Okay, like this. And now let's go there. Let's run it again. Yeah, you can see that I am a hacker slash engineer. Okay, all right. So what we learned here actually, that using the backslash to escape any special characters like the single quotation, like another slash, and so on. Okay, thanks for watching. All right, now it is time for the formatted strings. So now let's print this field. Okay, so what if I want to print something and with variables, and this can be changed? Okay, so yeah, follow me for now. So hi, for example, and here I want to put a specific user, and this user I don't need to hard code it. I need it to be here. So the user equal, okay, Mike, for example, okay, and age equal 25, for example, okay. So here it is, and I want, sorry about this, and I want to print Mike, but you know that I can't put user here because this is a variable, right? So how to do that? Actually, we will use the formatted strings. So I will put brackets like this, and your age is, and another formatted, 2 brackets or 2 braces. Now here, after I finish everything inside the print function, I will put dot here, and I will put format, okay, and then I will open 2 brackets and put the first function, sorry, the first variable and the second variable. The first variable, hi user, which is the mic, another here a list or comma, then put age, okay. So like this. So let's see what will happen here. Clear the screen. Let's run. Hi Mike, your age is 25. So if I return here, yes, hi Mike, your age is, which is the age variable, which is 25. By the way, I can put here a hard-coded value, but actually this doesn't make sense, right? Sorry, I got a problem with my keyboard here, actually, yeah. So I can put Mike here and the 25 here, and it will work as well. So to make sure it is working, let's put 29 this time, okay? Okay, let's test it out. So, hi Mike, your age is 29, which is working correctly. All right. Yeah, by the way, you can put your variable here immediately. So if I type, the format is new user, for example, equal with double quotation John this time, and the age here, so I put age equal 35, for example. Okay, but now before we print this, we need to edit this value. This time we will put the new user actually, and we will put the age here as a new age here, or the age here, which is this one. So yeah, let's save this first, then let's run it out. You can see that, hi John, your age is 35, which is the new values that we put here, okay? Okay, one last thing. So actually, what if we want to write something else? So here inside the John, I don't need to put that. I want just to use the user variable, which is the same previous way, and the age variable as well, okay? So by the way, this is 0 index and this is 1 index, okay? So here inside the new user, if I type 0, let's delete the new user, all of it. So 0. And if we here inside, instead of age, we want to delete and put 1 as well. So let's check this out actually. So yeah, let's type it. You can see, hello Mike, your age is 25. Okay, so actually here, if I toggle this, if I put 0 here, and if I put 1 here, so this will be inverted actually. So if you can see that now, hi 25, your age is Mike. This should the result be, hi 25, your age is Mike, as you can see. So by doing that, we are making sure that everything, yeah, actually you can see that we can just index whatever we want, depends on whatever we want. All right, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next lecture. Now for the string indexes, I want to show you this something. Now actually the string by its nature is a sequence of characters. So let's put this variable, and inside it let's put A, B, C, D, E, F, G, okay? Now actually what is string is, it is a sequence of characters and each character has its own index. So we will start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? So actually it is like this. So if I print the variable, it will print everything, right? And we already saw that. So let's see again. Yeah, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, everything working as expected. But if I put the squared brackets like these, and I put the 0, for example, now this will print only the A character. So if I return here and run it, you can see that it is A character only. Now let's return here. Now what if I type, or I want to have the A, B, C, D only? So I will put the colon here, as you can see, and put the from where to where. Okay, so from to, as this. So from 0 to 2, or 2, 3. Okay, so like this. If I return here, run again, you can see A, B, C. If I return again, you can see that from 0 to 3. But 3, as you can see, 3 is not included. So if I want D to be included, just remove 3 and put 4 instead. Then like this, go here, and as you can see, A, B, C, D. Now another trick. Now what if I want from B to the end of this? So from B, which means from 1. Okay. And by the way, the syntax here is n minus 1, which means if it is to 4, which means I need to put, which means if I want it for D, I want to put 4, which is 3, 4 minus 1, which is a 3. Okay, so you need to add an extra number for this index. Okay, now what if I want it from B until the end of the string? So I just remove it like this. I put it 1 to anywhere, or to nothing. Okay, so this will write 1, which is from B, to the end of the string. So let's check this out. You can see not A, B, C, D, E, F, G. No, it is B, C, D, E, F, G. All right. Okay. Now this is just to have an overview and have a look about it, so you understand that it is not just as is. It is very elastic for you. Okay. Thanks for watching. All right. Now it is time for the Booleans data types. Now the Boolean is something either true or false, 1 or 0. Now this is it. So how to test this out? Let's put var, this var variable, okay, and let's put inside it true. Now you can see that the true is, the T is capital, and without, yeah, sorry, I forget about this, without quotation. So var 1 is equal true, and if you hover here, you can see that it is Boolean. And the same thing for var 2, and this equal this time false, but as you can see, the F is capital as well. All right. Now actually, if I print this, it will show us. So let's print var 1, for example. Okay, now let's return here. Yeah, you can see that it is true. Now as expected actually, which is true. Okay, now what if I put 0 here? Or let's put 1, 0 for false and 1 for true. So if I put true here, let's put it as 0. So you can see that it is integer, not a Boolean. So if I put it, or I print it out, it will be as an integer. So how to do that? Actually, we have this built-in function, which is the bool. This to convert the value to a Boolean function. So bool, like this, to a Boolean value, I mean. So as you can see, this is to return true when the argument x is true or whatever. Okay, so you can see that var 1, now this time it is Boolean, but let's print this out. So let's print this time the var 2. Okay, so this should give us the false value. So if I type here, yeah, you can see it is false, though it is 0. You can see that though it is 0, but, and it is an integer value, but by using the Boolean function here, it return, or it convert this value to 0 to something for the Boolean to understand, which is the false. 0 means false and 1 means true. Okay, as simple as that. Now don't worry about the, we will talk about these more in the conditional and the loops section or lecture. There we will handle everything in details, okay? But for now, just keep that on your mind. All right, I will see you in the next lecture. All right, now it is time for the list to be explained. Okay, now the list actually is a sequence of objects. So if I type list1, for example, which means list1, and then you open a squared bracket, okay, like this, and put the value you want. So 1, 2, 3, okay, another list. So let's put list2, okay, and here inside squared brackets, let's put strings. So A, B, and C as well. Okay, now let's put another third list, yeah, like these, and let's put this time something cocktail. Let's say it's collection of integers of let's put another values. Actually, let's put 10. Let's put here high, and here let's put false, and then let's put for example, let's put 1.5. Okay, so it is something like that. All right, now here actually we can print everything we want, depends on whatever we want. So if I want to print for list 3, for example, and I will open the brackets and put the indexes, and indexes start from here. So this is 0, and this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Okay, so I put list 3 for 0, so this will print 10. If I put 1, this will print high, 2, 3, and so on. But if I put 4, as you can see, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is not here. So if I put 4 for here, for list 3, and I return here, and let's clear the screen first. Yeah, and here if I put, you can see that it is, the index is out of range because 4 is not existed. Sorry about this. Let's return here. Yeah, you can see that 4 is not existed actually, only the index 3. Okay, so if I type 3, or let's put 2 here, and if I print it, so yeah, it is false this time, which means the second or the third, I mean the third fault, the third object from this list 3, 0, 1, 2, which is the third, and everything as expected. Yeah, actually one thing I forget to mention is that we can, as we learned previously, actually I already mentioned that. So list 3, I want to print false and I want to print high. For example, how to do that actually? It's very simple. 0, 1. So I will start from 1, put the colon, and minus 1. So I want it to false. So 0, 1, 2. So I don't need to put 2 here. I will put 3 because I need, so 3 minus 1 will be 2. Okay, so 0, 1, 2. So it will print high and false as well as a list actually. So if I click here and test it out, you can see that it is this time as a list, and you can see that it is high and false as well. So you can see that it is very elastic and you can do a lot of lists actually. So for example, you are putting a shopping cart, for example, putting specific values and so on. Okay, thanks for watching. Okay, now it is time for the list methods. So just open your browser, go to list methods Python, and here you can see that for the W3 schools, and actually this is a good reference and source for information, you can see that all the list or the array methods we have on Python. So you can see that we have append, we have clear, we have copy, count, extend, index, insert, pop, remove, reverse, sort. Okay, now one thing I want to mention here. Well, actually, it is not expected from you to memorize all of these actually, because I'm telling you from my personal experience and as a real world experience or real world scenario, you are not expected to memorize all of these. What is expected from you is to know that in Python, in the list or the arrays, there are methods, and these are the methods. And you know that there is something called append. So it is to add element to the end of the list, or clear, or copy, or count, or whatever. Okay, and actually there is something called sort, by the way. Yeah. So you just Google it or you search about it, Yeah, how to do this? You don't need to ask on forums or blogs, but you know where to go. Now I'm telling you, actually this is after all, this is my personal opinion. If you memorize it, yeah, it's okay. It's actually, it will save you some time, yeah, instead of searching about it and copy paste. No, actually you can just type it. But actually it's not that matter, or it will save you that time. Actually it's no big deal. Actually you will see that these small details is not important to memorize it actually, but what is important is to know how to search about it and how to find it. So for example, I want to sort. I will go to here to this example, and I can see that we have this cars, Ford, BMW, Volvo, whatever, and cars, which is the name of the list, and dot sort, as simple as that. So this will give you the cards sorted. Okay, sorted I think by alphabetics. So the first one will be PM because this is B, and then will be Ford, which is because this is F, and V, which is because this is V capital. And of course the capital letter is different than the small letters, and so on. Okay, again, no big deal. You can read about it more, you can check it more, see more examples, and so on. Okay, but what is matter here in this lecture, in this course, is to know that for the list there are methods, built-in methods, and you can search about it, and they are documented well on the web, either the official documentation or some good references and resources like the w3schools.com, which is something I recommend you to check. Okay, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next lecture. All right, now it is time to talk about the matrix. Well, actually the matrix is something like the list, but it is sometimes called array or multi-dimensional array or something like that, because some programming languages like the C++ or C#, or I think Java itself also use the concept or the term array, not list. Okay, but anyway, they are the same sometimes in a lot of use cases or a lot of things, just naming, nothing, no big deal. Okay, so let's put this matrix to create it. Now I open a bracket, square brackets, but this time I will put brackets like this. So put this and put this, and let's put this, okay, as well. Now I know you may get confused, but follow me for now and I will explain everything in detail. So 1, 2, 3, and here put 4, 5, 6, and here put 7, 8, 9. All right, okay. Now I want to print some values from here, right? Yes, this is what I'm all about. So print using the print function. Now I will use the name matrix. So far so good, right? Nothing new. Now this is the new things that have been added here, which is using two brackets, two square brackets. Now actually it's very simple. Just imagine with me. Now this is the first line, this is the second line, and this is the third line. Do you get it or not? Yeah, actually you are right. This is 0, and this is 1, and this is 2. Okay, now inside 0, which is this one, we have 0, 1, 2. Okay, I mean as an index, I mean, don't get confused between the numbers. So actually it's better to use A, B, C. Yeah, actually like these. So I want from the first line, which is 0, okay, the first sequence or the first list, which is 0, I want B, okay, so which is 0, 1. So I will put 1. So this will print the B character. Let's check this out. From here, you can see that A is not defined. All right. Do you know why this happened? Yeah, because actually I put it as array, as a variable, actually, not as a values. So I need to provide the single quotation or the double quotation, by the way, because I want it to be as a character, not as a variable. So if I don't put that, actually it will be considered as a variable. And actually it is good that happened, and we saw that by practice that we need to be careful here. Okay, all right, now let's check what will happen. Let's clear the screen first, and Python here you can see that we print B, and this is the same thing if you want to print A. So for example, you want to print B and C. So you will put here colon like this, and you want it C. So 0, 1, 2. So it will be 3. Why? Because 3 minus 1 equal 2, which is 0, 1, 2. So B and C. This will print B and C. Let's check this out actually. Yeah, you can see that it is now B and C. Well, actually, the matrix and the use cases is very complex subject. So actually, you can use that for the screen pixels or using image processing and a lot of things actually, deep learning and AI. But for in this course, we don't need to handle that in details because after all, we are writing an ethical hacking tools, okay? Not and something for AI or data science, okay? Thanks for watching. Now it's time to talk about the none. Well, actually, the none is how, from its name, yeah, it is none, nothing, okay? So if I type this var equal none, and if I print this, actually this is not the same as the white space. The white space has value, but this none, which means null, it is not set yet. It doesn't have any value, arbitrary value. Okay, so this is not like the 0, not like the white space. No, this is something different, which means that this is none. So if you can see that this is none type, yeah, as you can see, not 0, not white space, not nothing, which means it is the value for this variable is arbitrary or it is not set yet. So let's check this out. Actually, you can see that the value is none. Okay, thanks for watching. All right, now it is time for the dictionary. Now actually the dictionary, somehow it is the same as the list, but this time with the key value pair. So if I have this var1, okay, and equal, now this time I will put brackets, braces I mean. Okay, now here I will put key value pair. So I will put the first thing, which is name, then put colon, then put the name of this guy or this person, which is Mike. Age, for example, and put the value, which is 30 or 31 or whatever. All right. Now, as you can see, if I want to print this value, so I want to print the name of the variable, which is var1, and then put the squared brackets. But this time I will not put 0, 1, 2, it's like the list indexing. Now, this time I will put or provide the key value, okay, which is name or age or whatever. And of course, with brackets like this, double quotation, because this is a string. And now let's check this out. Actually, if I print this, you can see that the value is wrong. Yeah, actually, I forgot to put the list here, which means the name Mike, age is 30, and I will print the var with name. And let's see what will happen this time. You can see that it is Mike. Okay. Now I want, and I can put and print the age actually like this and like this. So let's check this out. Actually, it should be 30. Yeah, everything is working as expected. And by the way, actually, you can put dictionary values inside the list. So let's have a look here. So actually, the var1 this time, I don't need it to be like this. I want it to be like this, like a list. And inside the list, I will put some of the values like 1, and the other value is 2 or whatever. And the third value, I want to put it as a dictionary. And here inside it, I will put the other thing, which is what we handled, the name Mike. And yeah, don't forget to put the comma here. And the age, put anything you want, which is 30 or whatever. And let's print var1, but this time I cannot do that because this is a list. This is not a dictionary. So I will put 0. This will print the first one, which is 1. And 1 will print the second index, which is 2. And third, I will put 3 like this. So this will print the dictionary. So let's check this out if it is working or not. Yeah, you can see this is out of index because this is 3. Sorry, I forgot. It must be 2. Yeah, you can see that the name is Mike and the age is 30. Okay, so far so good. Now, what if I want not everything from the third index, which is the dictionary index? I want the name and or the age. How to do that? Well, actually, it is very simple. You can just open a new one, and this time we will put the name. Okay. So if I return here and put it, you can see that this time I print the name from the dictionary, which is the Mike. Okay, the value. So as you can see, key value pair. Okay, so name Mike, age 30, and you can see from here, from the third index 0, 1, 2, the third index, print name. Don't print the whole dictionary, so it will work 100%. Okay, thanks for watching. Okay, again, now we will talk about the dictionary methods this time. Now, again, open your browser. Here, put Python dictionary methods and open any website you want. And I recommend you again to open w3schools.com. And here you can see Python dictionary methods, which is everything from this list. Clear, copy from keys, get, items, pop items, set default, update values. Now again, open any one of these, and you can see that we have all the descriptions, all the things. Again, I will not handle all of these in details actually, because they are very simple. Just copy and paste them. Just try them out if you are curious. Well, actually nothing here to be taught. So from its name, clear, it will clear everything. Copy, it will copy the dictionary, but how to use it, how to do that, you can see the examples here. Because in this course, there are other things that matter actually to be taught rather than these. It is not expected from you to memorize these actually, but you need to learn and to know how to find them, and you need to know that for the dictionary in Python, there are methods can be used and save you a lot of trouble and efforts. Okay, thanks for watching. Okay, now it's time for the tuple to be explained. Okay, now actually as simple as that. The tuple is the same as the list, but this time the tuple is for read only. So the data inside it cannot be sorted, cannot be modified, and so on. Okay, so let's have a quick example. So tuple, okay, or tub equal. And the second difference, actually, we don't use squared bracket this time. We use a brackets like these. And let's put A, B, and let's put C. Now print the top, TUB, and this time I want the index 1, which is B. Okay, so let's print this out. Let's see if it is working or not. Clear the screen first. And yeah, you can see it is B. All right, so far so good. But this time, if I type top 1 equal h, for example, or let's put h, okay, now you can see that it will not work. By the way, if it is a list, it will work, okay, because if it is a list, I can change any object inside the list using the index, okay, for that list, and then change any value you want. But this is because it is a tuple, it will not work. So let's check this out. Yeah, you can see the tuple object doesn't support item assignment. So which means that we cannot do that. And actually it has a lot of methods for tuple. You can read about them. Just Google it, tuple methods for Python, and everything will be there. And as simple as that. Thanks for watching. Okay, now it's time for the conditional or the if statements. Okay, now it is as simple as that. The syntax is like this. You put the if, and then you put either brackets or without brackets, but I prefer with brackets actually. And then here you put the condition, and the condition, if it is true, then it will print. So yeah, let's put explicit value, which is the true. This will be run the if body, which is this one. So let's print yes, it is true. And here we can use something called else. So if it is else, yeah, let's print this time. Let's print no, it is false. Okay, so by the way, this will print yes, by the way, because the condition here is true. So let's have a look here. Let's clear the screen, and yeah, you can see yes, it is true, which means that it worked correctly because the condition is true. All right, now it's time to have some variables, some things actually worked or used in real world, not just a simple statement. So let's put var1 equal 10, and here inside it I will put the if var1 less than or greater than or equal, you can use this, equal or not equal. Okay, you can use this, but for now let's use less than 20, or less than 5. So is 10 less than 5? No, false. It will print no, it is false. So let's check this out. No, it is false. Okay, now actually we can put Boolean variables here. So var2, let's put this time false. Okay, or let's put it as a true, so it will show us a different value or different output. And here you can just put the name of the variable. This is the first one. So the name of the variable will do the job, because if the var2 true, if it is var2 is true, so which means the output of the condition here is true, which means it will print here. Or you can put or use the equal operator. So equal, and if it is equal to a true, so this time it will print yeah, because it is true. So it will print yes, it is true. But by the way, if you put the var2, which is the true, equal to false, now is var2 equal to false? No. So this time it will print no, it is false. Okay, all right, now it's up to you how you write your programs, to use the condition, when to use it, what condition you can actually put subtraction, addition, divided by 2, modules. Actually depends on what your use case. Now this is the first syntax, which is if else. Okay, now actually what if I want to put inside the else, which is something called the nested if else here. Now actually there is something called indentation. You can see that here the if here start from here, as you can see, and we put the colon here, and here is an indentation, which means, as you can see, 4 spaces, which means that this print statement is inside the if body, and the else the same thing, 0 1 2 3 4 spaces, and here I can put print or whatever I want here. This means that this print function or this statement is inside the else body. Okay, but because actually if I put it like this, so let's put anything, no, anything. If I removed the indentation, and this is what called inside the Python, like this will give us an error. So if I type here, yeah, you can see expected unintended block, which means that you forgot something. So you can put this. Actually, if I type 2 spaces, so let's see, yeah, actually it works. You can see that if I type 2 spaces, it will work. But actually, it's better to use 4 spaces because it will be more elegant and modern way to write your code. Now, one last thing. So inside the else here, I can put another if. And this is what I want to talk about. So if I type if, another if, and put whatever I want, then inside it print whatever, and for that else, so you can see statement here, and inside you can see put else as well, and put whatever you want, and then you can print whatever you want. Okay, so actually, so here another example here, you can see this is outside of the else, but if I put it here like this, now that actually this is inside the else, and this is inside this if, and this is outside the if else here. Okay, yeah, I think it is simple, because if you are using Visual Studio, you can see that it is highlighted. We have line this here, which means all of that is the name. All of that, you can see that all of that is for the else, and here all of that is for if, and so on. Okay, Now the last thing I want to say about or talk about, which is the elif. Okay, now this is another thing, which is combination of else and if. So elif. Okay, so elif, put the condition you want, and the same thing with indentation and so on. Okay, but yeah, don't forget to put indentation here like this, which means that this is inside the elif body. Okay, and of course you need to remove the else here like this. So yeah, everything is expected. So you put the first condition, okay, then you used the second condition, then you used a third condition or fourth condition. Okay, so you need to have more filtering, so you can use the nested if else. All right, now actually this is just a simple overview or brief about if else and the conditional operators. Okay, now don't worry about that, we will use that in practice when times come to when we start writing our own tools, and actually in a very practical way. So for now, just keep in your mind what is the syntax, how to write, what are the statement, how they work. And we learned that we have if, we have else, we have if else, we have if, elif, the nested if, I mean, and else, whatever. Okay, so and we learned that we have indentation. So this is to distinguish between which statement for which instructor or which instruction. So this is for the elif, this is for the if, or if this is for the else, and so on. Okay, thanks for watching. All right, now it's time for the for loop. Okay, now actually for loop in Python is like this. The syntax is for, then put the variable you want in this thing, and here you put a bracket, and you want to 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, and put the colon here, and don't forget to put it inside the indentation. So here let's print I, and you can see that if I print I here, it will print 1 2 3 4 and so on. Okay, so let's check this out actually. So yeah, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, as expected. All right, so far so good. Now if I return here actually and I print I here outside of the for indentation, so let's have a look what will happen. You can see that this is from the inside the for loop, and the outside of the loop is 5, as you can see, which is the final value of the I, because I is a variable after all, and its final value is 5. Okay, so that's why it got printed as a 5. All right, that's it. Okay, now if we want to use the for loop, but this time I want a counter here. Okay, well, how to do that? Well, actually there are a lot of ways, but using the range function is very popular and very easy way to do that. So for I in, and I will use the range function as this. Okay, and from 2, so from 0 to 10 for example. Okay, and then let's print I. Okay, so for I in this range, and print I, and print the final I. Now let's check what will happen here. Let's clear the screen first, and yeah, as expected. So you can see it starts from 0 and ends to 9. Now why it is 9? Because this is n minus 1, so which means 9 in my case. So if I want it to be 10, I need to provide as 11 here, and it will work. We are using a for loop with a range. All right, now it is time for the while loop. Okay, so actually the while loop is somehow different, but they are the same. I equals 0. Let's start from 0, and I will put while here, and while I is less than 5. Okay, then yeah, sorry, I forget to put the indentation here, the colon here, and indentation here, so I will print inside it. So let's print I, and we want to add the value, or we will get an infinite loop. All right, infinite loop means that we will still be in the same loop, okay, over and over. But by doing that, you make sure that everything will stop eventually. Okay, so I will keep increasing the I value until it reaches 5. So 5 less than 5, false. I will get out from this while loop. Okay. Now let's run this and test it out. Actually, it's better. Yeah, you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And when it is reaching 5, then it will go. So it is actually, let's have a look here. So we will start from 0. Now 0 less than 5, yes, true. I will print 0 and I will add 0 equal 0 plus 1. Now the new value for I will be 1. Okay, now again 1 is less than 5. Yeah, press 1, 1 plus 1, and over until we reach 4. 4 less than 5, yes, print 4, and 4 equal 4 plus 1, so which means the new value for I will be 5. 5. Now let's return and check the condition. 5 less than 5, no, false. When this means that I will go ahead and I will quit from it. Okay, so far so good. All right. Now another thing here actually used not just in the loop, actually in the loop, while loop, for loop. Okay, the condition, something called continue or break or pass. Okay, so let's have an example. I equals 0. I is less than 10 this time. Now I will keep updating, or I will keep printing the I value. Okay, but here I will have a condition inside the while loop. As you can see, we are in the side the while loop. So if I equal 5, then I will break. Okay, now follow me just in this example and let's see what will happen. So this should print only from 0 to 5 because we already printing before 5. Okay, before this condition I mean. Now the break here, actually this statement will break from the current loop, or the current loop, which is the when we have it as a while loop here. Okay, now let's have a look here. Let's clear the screen first. Now you can see that it is infinite loop. Did you guess why? Yeah, because we forgot to add here. Yeah, actually we forgot I equal I plus 1. All right. Now actually it's good that we saw that in practice. What is infinite loops? Now let's clear the screen and let's button. So you can see that we are printing from 0 to 4. Okay, now as you can see, when we increased, when it became 4, print 4 plus 1, which means 5. Now if it is 5 equal 5, yes, then break. So it will print from 0 to 4, and which means that we printed 5 times. Okay, now let's have another example for continue statement. Now if it is continue, now let's have another syntax. Now this time let's print these after the if condition. Okay, so I will have it here, but again it is inside the while indentation. So let's print I, and let's increase the I value. I equal I plus 1. All right. Okay, so if the value is 5, this time I will put continue. Okay. Okay, now you may ask me, what is the continue? Now we learned what is break. Break from the current loop. Okay, now continue, which means that continue immediately to the loop. All right. Okay, so this will give us an infinite loop. Why is that? Now follow me. I equals 0. It will keep until it is reached 4. So 4 less than 10, yes. Is 4 equal 5? No. So I will not do this condition, and I will go print 4. Now 4 plus 1, which is 5. So the new value is 5. 5 less than 10, yes. 5 equal 5, yes. Continue. So I will go again. 5 less than 10, yes. Is 5 equal 5? Yes, continue. So this will give us an infinite loop. Okay, so let's test this out. Actually, it's better to have it with real action. So yeah, you can see that we have an infinite loop, but without printing anything. As you can see, the cursor is stopped moving. So which means that this is an infinite loop. And actually this is bad. So to avoid that, we will add the I equal I plus 1 here, and we can remove this, or you can comment it out. It's okay. No big deal. So now let's have a look. Yeah, you can see that this time 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can see, or you can notice that 5 is not here. Now, why is that? Let's have another look. Now, when we reach 4, 4 is less than 10, yes. 4 plus 1, 5. Now, if it is 5, let's continue. So when it is continue, it will return again. So 5 less than 10, yes, but it will increase. So we didn't print 5 at all. So 6, yes. Is I equal 6? No. So I will print 6 and over until I reach 10 actually, or 9. And why, you may ask me, but why it is 10? Because if you have noticed here, so when we reach 9 less than 10, yes, I added here. As you can see, I didn't quit from, I added 9 plus 1, which is 10, and I print it out. Okay, so that's why it is 10 this time. Okay. Now, finally, we have another thing, which this time called pass. Now, pass means that don't do anything, just pass this. Now, what is that exactly and why it is used? Now, sometimes you wrote functions or you wrote specific indentation and you don't need to do anything currently, or you don't need to do anything just to check if it is something or not. Okay, and you don't need to include anything. You just need it to be empty. But you know that empty is not acceptable with Python. So if I removed this and put if I equal 5 without anything inside it, so let's test this out. This actually it's better. And if I run this, you can see that expected an indented block, which means that we need to put something here. So how to do that? Actually, we will use the pass, which means that in this indentation or this block, there are nothing, but actually not nothing, it is pass. So just pass that. So let's have a look here. Let's run this. Let's see what will happen. Let's clear the screen first. Yeah, you can see this time we printed everything, but this time 5 is included because we didn't continue when it is 5. So we already print that. So which means that when we reached 5, we did nothing. Okay. And we print 5. Okay. That's it. All right. Thanks for watching. All right. Now it is time to learn the functions in Python. Now the functions, you write a specific commands or specific instructions, and then you call that function over and over. You don't need to write and rewrite everything over and over. So for example, you add 10 to specific value. Okay. By the way, we already saw functions. Yeah, you know, by the way, print is a function. Apps is a function. The int is a function, int with this that convert the value. The str that we saw is an function. Okay, but these are called built-in function, and what we are going to do is write a customized function. So I want to add function to add 10 to the value that I put or I sent. Okay, so how to do that? Actually, before that, let's have a look on the syntax. The syntax is like this. You type the name def, which means define, and the name of the function. Let's name it fun1. Okay, open the brackets, and inside the brackets we have bar1, bar2. So these are called parameters. These are value that can be passed when we call this function. We will have that, and we will see it. Now I will open the colon here. Actually, I think you are getting familiar with Python now, because you can see that these are the same thing that used when we used if, condition, while, for, and so on. Okay, we can just open the brackets and put the colon here, and we need to put it inside the indentation. Okay, now here inside it, let's print this is inside fun1. All right. Okay, now also we can have a return value. So we can return value, return, for example, 10. All right, or return function, or return variable that we defined here inside the function. So if I type, or if I declared I equals 0, and if I return it here, so return I, so this will return 0. Okay, so this function will print this is inside fun1, and it will return I, which is the value of 0. Now, how to call this function? Actually, now just as simple as that, I will put the name of the function, which is fun1. All right, but you can see we require to add parameters because we have bar1 and bar2. But for now, let's delete these like that, and let's see what will happen. All right, By the way, the value returned I equals 0, it will be here. So let's have a look what will happen. You can see this is inside fun1, yeah, but the value 10 is not here. Why? Because we didn't print it out. So if I print it out like this using the print function, now if I return here and run it again, now this time not this is inside fun1 only, but we have the value of I, which is 0. Okay, so far so good. Now let's have another thing. Okay, now what if we have a parameter? So here bar1 and we have bar2. Okay, and this will return I plus bar1 plus bar2. Okay, so far so good, right? And when I return or I call the function, I need to provide values. So I will provide 10 for the bar1, so simple, right? And 20 for the bar2. And as you can see, it is integer and integer. All right, now this is what we will receive and we will get. So 10 plus 20 plus 0, which means 30. Okay, so let's have a look here and let's run it. So you can see it is 30 as expected. All right, yeah, by the way, if I print I here, let's put a brackets. Yeah, if I print I here, yeah, let's have a look what will happen actually. Yeah, you can see that I is not defined. Why is that? Because I is inside the scope or the indentation block of this function only. So this is a local variable. But if I define it here, all right, let's have a look here. So if I define it here, I equal 10 this time or 11 this time. Now I value will be 11. But the precedence when we are inside the fun1 is go to the local variables, which is the I equals 0. So here 0 plus 10 plus 30 plus 20, sorry, which means the value will be 30. But when I receive it here, I will not print I that one inside the fun1. No, I will print it that the global I. Okay, let's have a look what we will receive. Now this time the first I is equal 10 or 11, and you can see that this is inside fun and 30. So which means that we didn't do that. Actually, if I remove that and I returned only the value of I like this, so this should return 0 only. Okay, and actually let's print this inside. You can see that, yeah. I'm pretty sure you are getting the idea, but it's good to have practice on that. So I bar1, bar2. So yeah, like this. So you can see that I here will be 0, the printed one, but the print I outside the function will be 11 because this will use the global I. Okay, you can see that, yeah, 11. This is inside fun1, and the inside fun1 is 0. Okay, which is this one, and the return value will be 30, which is 0 plus 10 plus 20, the parameters we pass. Okay, all right, so far so good. Thanks for watching. Now we learned what is function and what is the parameter, what is the return, the values, and so on. Okay, but now what if I want to add for this fun1 more than parameter 1 and parameter 2? I want a lot of parameters. How to do that? For that, we will use something called the args or star args. Okay, so here instead of typing the bar1, bar2, no, you just delete that and put star args here. And when I return here, I can put 10, 20, 30, 40, and so on. Okay, actually let's delete this print statement and the return value as well, and the I here, I don't need that. And actually I don't need to print anything. I just want to call the function, and I will do the print inside the function, which is like this. And here let's delete this. It's okay, no need for that. Yeah, so you can see that now, and when I am inside the function one args, I put a lot of arguments and all of them are integers. Now I can just print these arguments by doing the args like this. Okay, so let's print that and see what will happen. Let's clear the screen. Yeah, you can see 10, 20, 30, 40, which is something fine. And of course, if I want the first argument or the second argument, I will need to put 1, which is 0, 1. Okay. So let's save that and test if it is working. Yeah, you can see this time now it is 0, 1, which is the 20 value. Okay. Okay, so far so good. Now, another thing, we can use something called key arguments or the keyword arguments. Okay. And for that, I will put that inside the parameter for the function or the argument. So here you can put 2 stars and key from the keyed character W args, okay, like this. And then instead of using or printing the args, I will print the key args, the keyword. Okay, but actually, what is the keyword args? So here, when you put this thing, which is var1 equal 11, for example, and var2 equal 12. Okay, so this will print var1 and var2 actually, because these are the keyword arguments. As you can see, the parameter is star keywords. Okay, so let's run this and check this out. Actually, it's better. Yeah, you can see var1 is 11 and var2 is 12. And actually, for the keywords, actually, this is something familiar. We already saw that. This is the dictionary. So if I put here and put in double quotation var1, for example, and I return here and test it out, you can see that we just printed the var1, which is the 11, which is, as you can see, this is the dictionary. Okay, but the args is like the list. All right. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next lecture. All right, now it's time to talk about the packages and the modules in Python. Okay, so actually, you can see, or you remember when we created our first.py file. Okay, now it's time to be more realistic. Okay, so here you can see that we have the first.py. Okay, now the first thing, let's make this directory and let's name it Python underscore files. Okay, and by the way, let's remove this first Python. We don't need it anymore. So let's clear the screen and let's go to the Python. Now let's go to the Python files. Okay, now here inside it, let's touch our first file and touch. This is command used to create a text files. It's okay. You can use whatever you want, or you can use actually the Visual Studio itself. From here, you can create a new file from here. Anyway, they are the same, nothing important. So main.py, okay, this is the main function. And let's create another thing. Now this time we want to create first.py, first something. It's okay. Okay, now let's make another directory, and this directory we will call it functions. Okay, it's okay, just arbitrary names. So we have the first.py, the main.py, and we have the functions. Now inside the functions, so let's go to the functions. Inside it, we want to create another file, and this file we will name it fun1.py, and let's create fun2.py. Okay, clear. Ls, you can see that. Now let's open a file or open a folder from here. Okay, and the folder will be Python files. Okay, now okay, from here, and you can see that we have it here. Let's quit from this, we don't need it. Yeah, so you can see that we have the functions, we have the main, we have the first.py. Okay, so again, the first thing, I will go to the main. Now the main here, I will print this thing, and this thing will be called, this is main.py. Okay, and the first here will be print, this is first. And the functions, inside function one, let's define this function, whatever function it is, it's no big deal. And let's print inside fun from fun1.py, and fun2, let's have it the same as fun1, like this, but this time will be from fun2, like this. Okay, okay, so far so good. All right, now I want for all of these to be connected together or can be imported together. So we will use this statement, which is the import statement, and I will import a lot of things. So actually I can import modules, library. So for example, OS, this is a library or a module can be imported using Python, and this can use or run commands on the operating system. We have sub-processes, we have math, we have a lot of things actually, but all of these are standard or built-in. Now, what if I want to add one of these? Actually, I can do that. It's okay. So the first thing you need to understand that we are inside the main, and the main is the same level as first. So I can just add import first. Okay. So if I import first, I can do whatever I want. So for example, inside first, let's remove the print statement. Let's put I equal 10. All right. And here from first, I want to print the I. Okay. But I can't print I like this. I need to modify or to add this thing, which is first dot I. Okay. And I is the variable inside the first dot by. That's the one we imported. Okay. So let's print this and run the main actually to check this out. So let's return here. You can see that we have the main by. So Python 3, the main dot by. Yeah, everything is working as expected, which is 10. This is by dot main dot by, as you can see. Now, if I removed the first actually like this will not work because I is not defined here. Again, let's run. Yeah, I is not defined because I is defined inside the first dot by, which is I equal 10. This is inside the first. Okay, so to do or to understand or to import the I inside the first, you need to put first dot I first, then we can print it out. All right. And of course, you need to import it first. All right. Now, what if I want to import these functions? Okay, I want to print the function, this function. Okay, I want to call this function that inside fun1.by fun1. How to do that? I need to use the import. Yeah, you are right. But this time you can see that fun1 is not the same level as the main, which is the one we are. No, they are inside the functions directory. So you need to put functions like this and then put dot symbol and then use fun1 as expected. Now, how to print that, or actually how to call this function? So I want to call this function, which is fun, and that print this statement. How to do that? Well, actually you can do this by putting this thing functions dot fun1 now dot fun with this. So this will call the function inside the fun1 that inside the functions directory. Okay, now hope this will work. Let's see if it is working or not. Now let's clear the screen first and let's run it. Yeah, inside fun from fun1, and this is inside, or this is main.py. Yeah, everything is working correctly. Now this is the same thing for fun2. Okay, okay. Now let's return for the first. Okay, let's put a comment here actually. Now by default, by the way, this is the comment in Python, and let's print the value from the first dot I. Okay, now we already saw that we don't need to run it again. But actually, what if I don't need this to be here? I want to just print I immediately. Okay, how to do that? Well, it is easy. So print like this, and yeah, as you can see, import first here. This time we will use this from argument or from word. So from first, import star. Okay, you can see that. So I imported from first.py, import everything. So this time I don't need to put the first here. You can see I can print I immediately. So it will print I from here. Okay, now let's check this out actually. Yeah, you can see 10 has been printed without using first.py. inside the main, I mean. Okay. Another thing, so actually this will be working on the functions as well. So if I import functions without putting functions.by, and I called the function, but this time I called not one, and that's the thing we already saw. Now this time I will print the fun2. Okay, now let's comment this print statement and see if this is working or not. So you can see, yeah, functions has no attributes fun2. Why is that? Because you can see that we import functions, and inside functions we cannot do anything. So you need to specify fun2 actually. So like this. Now if I type it, yeah, this is inside fun from fun2.by. Alright, thanks for watching. Alright, now it is time to talk about error handlings in Python. Now the first thing, there is something called the input function in Python, which is like this. Input, open the brackets, inside it put the prompt message. So please enter a value. Or let's do this. And then we can print this value. Okay, but actually let's store that inside a function, which is inside a variable, I mean, and let's print the x like this. So you can see this will receive an integer value, or actually this is if you notice here, it is a string value actually, but we will print it out. Okay, so let's run this command. I mean the main.py, which is the Python. So please enter a value. I will put, or I will enter hello, and you can see now it is hello, has been printed. Okay, but by the way, you can put, to be more elegant actually, you can put colon here with a space, and let's try again. So yeah, you can see now it is more elegant. Please enter a value, and I will put lol or whatever. Okay, so this is it. Okay, good. So far so good. Now let's return here, and this time let's put another value. So 12. Yeah, it will give us 12. Again, what if I type colon here? So double quotation. Yeah, everything is working correctly. Now this time, what if I used the integer value? Okay, so I want this value to be entered as an integer. Okay, so I'm using the integer converter function. So anything we enter here must be integer, or if not integer, I will convert it. Okay, so let's run this and see. Enter a value. If I typed a, you can see that it is wrong. Why? Because invalid literal for int with base 10 a. But if again, if I run that, and if I run 10, yeah, 10 is acceptable because this is an integer. But if I run or put any string value or any value rather than int, it will show us this error. Okay, by the way, if I type 10.5, it will give us error as well, because this is a float value. The value must be integer only. Okay, okay, so far so good. Now how to do such a thing without erroring, without putting these errors? So we want the error to be handled. Okay, we don't need to print out there are error. This is not elegant. We need an elegant solution. How to do that? We will use the try except, which is the error handling in Python. So how to do that? By using try what? Try these. Okay, now if there are errors or something, except. So as you can see, these are inside the try indentation. So except and double quotation and colon here, I mean, if there are error, let's print, for example, oh no, there is an error. Okay, anything. This is just arbitrary example. Okay, so if I try this again, when I enter 10 or any integer value, it works fine. Okay, so let's clear the screen and let's try enter high, for example. Yeah, you can see now. You can see now it is, oh no, there is an error. Okay, so it handled the error with elegant way. So if there are error here, not like before it will give us what is the error, and actually this is bad. No, this time if we face any error, actually it will print this statement, or it will do these things inside the except. So for example, your value that has been entered is negative. You can, inside the except, you can put it or use the absolute function, the abs, and convert it to something positive, and then you can assign it to the value you want. Okay, well, actually it has a lot of use cases. You can read about it if you are interested. Actually, if you open your browser and you go or typed Python try except, then you can go to the w3schools.com, and here you can see that there are a lot of examples, and not just try except. There are another format, which is you can put or raise the name error and other errors. Actually, you can see. So try print x except name error, okay, and print, and then finally except this, okay. So actually there are other formats like using the else as well. So you can see try these, print hello except something else, and we have the finally, and here you can see that it will be raised, as you can see, try except finally. So this will try the except after it is finished, and you can see there are a lot of examples here. All right, if you are interested to have or to learn more about it, okay. But anyway, it's not that big deal to know everything, but just know that there are other format and other use cases. You can read more about it, but for now, keep in your mind, this is the way to handle the errors in Python. Thanks for watching. Alright, now it is time for the Python file IO input output and how to handle it. Okay, so you want to read file, to open file for writing, to open file already existed for writing, or append to a specific file we will use, and actually this is supported in Python. Good news. Now, how to do that? Actually, it is like this. So first declare a variable, and we'll name it. I will name it in my case f, which is referred to file. I will use the open function. This is to open a file description. Then it has the following. So it has the first parameter, the second parameter. The first parameter is the name of the file. Okay, so I will name it whatever I want, and you can choose this file to be either read, write, read, write, to append to it if it is already existed or not. Now, actually, that's depend on the mode, which is the second parameter here. But in my case, I'm using the read mode, which is I want to read a file that already existed. So I will return here. And by the way, you can see that the main.py here, it is here inside the Python files, if you remember what we did previously. So you can see that now I will create a text file here, and I will name it test.txt, okay, and I will put here, as you can see, some values inside it. Yeah, by the way, I'm using the echo command and the touch command to create a text file and to add this specific value, which is the some values inside it. Actually, it's up to you. You can use whatever text editor you want. No big deal. So actually, let's open this file, and I'm using Vim, by the way, here. So let's put line 2, arbitrary values, line whatever, and here is end of file, for example, or if end of, or the end of line, okay, last line, for example, okay, and let's save it. By the way, if you don't like Vim, I recommend you to learn it and to know how to use it. For actually, it's very powerful text editor. Yeah, I know it is old-fashioned, let's say, but actually for you as a hacker, pen tester, cybersecurity engineer, it's important actually, and very recommended. I recommend you a lot to learn about it, and its shortcut, its powerful usage. Anyway, just use any text editor for now if you are not familiar with Vim, and put arbitrary value inside the test.txt file that already here inside the same level of the main.py that we are writing. And now let's name it. So test.txt file, and I will open it for read. Okay. All right. Now I want to print the content of this file. I will use the read function. So f, which is the name of the variable that we stored this thing, and I will use read. Okay. So this will read the whole content of this test.txt file, but it will not be printed because the output will be here. So I will use the print function for that, and then I will print the read like this. So actually, if I go there and see if it is will show us what we need. So if I type the Python 3 main, yeah, you can see it is as expected. The sum values, line 2, blah blah blah, until we reach the end of line, last line. Okay, so as you can see, we open this file for read. As you can see, the mode is read, and the test.txt file is there and existed. But what if we put test2 actually and try to read this out? Actually, read2.txt is not here. So as you can see, no such file or directory. Error. Now, actually, don't worry about this. We will handle it in the next lecture immediately. How to handle the errors in the file IO. And you know, it is not something big deal. It is the same way as what we learned previously from the error handling. And you can see that we will start using specific file errors or specific errors inside the except. Okay, anyway, until that time, it's no big deal. Okay, for now, let's open a file for writing. So test2, but this time the mode I will use it for write, which means I want to write inside it. Okay, and this time I will add this content. So let's see, content equal, and this is the content. I want this new content to be overwritten onto this test2 file, but actually it is empty and it is not existed. So yeah, this is the only data it will be. So some content. Okay, and for that I will use, this time I will use the f.write function. Okay, so the write function here, it will write to this f that we open it for writing. And what we will write? We will write the content variable. As you can see, content like this. And yeah, this is the variable. And finally, after everything is correct, we want to print and read what inside this test2. It should be some content, right? Let's check it out. Actually, yeah, you can see the file is not readable. Yeah, you may ask me, but what happened? Well, maybe you forgot something actually. Well, this f.read, yeah, we open it as what? As a write. So how to read something opened as a write? This is not right? So how to do thing here about it? Well, actually, we will use the close function. So f.close function. So this will close the file description that we open it as a write. Then we can create a new variable and use the open function and name it test2.txt. And this time we will open it as read, not as a write. And then we can read this out and it should be working. All right, let's check this out. So let's clear the screen first. And you can see, yeah, it is working as expected, and which is some content. Okay, so far so good. All right. And yeah, regarding the modes actually and the functions for the file IO, you can just open your browser and type Python IO modes. And from there you can see there are a lot of websites, a lot of references, but actually I recommend you to go to the official documentation, because there you can see that there are a lot of examples, a lot of functions you can use. So yeah, I need to go to the IO, not the input output. Yeah, here you can see that we can add, this is the open, the encoding. So you can see that we have modes this time. And don't worry, I will show you the modes right away, just quickly, I mean. So here you can see that we have a lot of functions actually. So you can see that the flush, closed, is sati, readable, read lines, seek, tell. Actually, a lot of functions can be used and useful can be, depends on the situation you want. So actually, if I go to this website, I just want to show you something here. The modes, actually, you can see, yeah, these are the modes that are available on Python. So yeah, you can see that we have read binary or read B, RB. So this is to read in binary format only. We have read RX, R plus, which means read, as you can see, open file for both read and write. Okay, so not just for reading, you can be for reading and writing. And you can see that the pointer placed at the beginning of the file. All right, we have write, we have RB plus, which is read binary. We have write binary, W plus, and as you can see here, the W plus is for read and write, but this time overwrite the existing file if file exists. If file does not exist, it will create a new file. Okay, and the same for WB plus, the read binary plus, A for append, and now this is something new, and we have AB appended for the binary, and we have appended for both reading and in a binary format, because this is AB plus, by the way, and the pointer will be at the end of the file if the file exists. Okay, all right, have a look there, try these out if you are interested. Now in the next lecture we will talk about the error handling for the Python files, how to, when we open a file that file is not existed, how to handle such errors in very smooth way. All right, thanks for watching. All right, we already talked about how to open a file in the Python for reading, for writing, appending, whatever. Okay, and we checked the modes that are available: read, write, read plus, read, write, appending, for binary, and so on. Okay, now what if we want, so f equal open, and we want to open a file, that file is not existed actually, so test3 this time dot text, and we want to open it for read. Okay, it's a simple example actually, no worries, and I want to print the content of it as we learned previously, no big deal. So read, and yeah, so let's save that actually and check if it's working or not. It should did. As you can see, we don't have test3 here, so yeah, no such file or directory. Okay, now how to solve such a thing? We don't need such a thing actually. This is ugly and this is not practical, so we will use the try, and we already saw that how to do that. So try these. Okay, so far so good. Now accept this thing. Now remember when we put just accept, now no, this time we will put another value. Now we will use something file not found error like this. The F is capital, file not found like this. So this means that the file is not found. This is not just an error, this is a specific error from this error. Now why is that? Because we don't need just any error, I will do this. No, for example, if the file not found, I will do specific thing. If the file there is errors with the IO, so the file is existed but the file cannot be opened, for example, I will do another things, and so on. Okay, so if this happened, so I will print, for example, file not found. Okay, so far so good. Now another exception, except IO error. Now if happened there is a high IO error, this time I will print IO errors happened. Okay, now whatever. Okay, cool. Now let's check this if it is working or not. Now this should be printing file not found because the test3 is not found. Okay, so let's open it actually. Yeah, so far so good. File not found, which means it worked correctly. So which is better actually? This is file not found with handling the error, or this is error no such file or directory and a lot of files, a lot of text. Actually this is ugly, this is not good. And by the way, not just that, actually this is more practical. So it's not like printing just a simple file not found. So for example, if the file not found, I want to create it, okay, and I want to put a specific value inside it, then I will read it. So you can see that there is some practical things here actually. And if the file IO error or whatever, and this happens for a lot of use cases or a lot of situations, whatever, there you can just read about it, so it's no big deal. Okay, then I will do specific things or whatever. Okay, yeah, you can see that, by the way, I am writing the print here in a bad way, so it is tn, not print, and you can see that it didn't show me any error. By the way, why this happened actually, because the interpreter, Python interpreter, is doing the things step by step. So it will go to the try, then to the f open, then to the print, then to the accept, and so on. So you can see that it is sequentially, and it didn't check the syntax. So you can see that the print is error. There was error in the syntax. The print, I wrote it in the wrong way. So it didn't show anything error here because the accept go to the file not found and it stopped there. Okay, so it didn't go to the accept on IO. Right? Okay. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next lecture.